Well, you know the drill. BPNR can never start on time. Well, we're back at it again here in BPNR Daytona. Just one more quick race before the main feature, that being the last chance qualifier. 34 of the 36 places have been secured. Only 2 drivers out of this race will make it out alive. Joining me in the booth will be 10th place starting driver Thomas Roxel.
Hello. Oh boy, this is gonna definitely be one of those races. I can just feel it. Two positions against 26 drivers. It's gonna be extremely hectic, and a bunch of good drivers starting at the back too. But I believe Jack Merkel's in this race. Aiden Lacasse, Carter Friesen, Jonathan Solos. A bunch of really good drivers are going to be in this race, not starting on the front row. Our front row is taken by, I know our pole sitter is Arthur Xavier. Let me go find the little sheet here. And the other guy sitting on our outside pole is Matt McIntyre. But yeah, those two guys are going to be starting at the front. But the drivers that we really need to be watching in this race are Jonathan Solos starting in 9th, Aiden Lacasse starting in 6th, Carter Friesen starting in 11th. I don't know if any of the guys that haven't qualified are going to be showing up for this race. I mean, Merkel's technically starting in 31st, but there aren't 31 cars here. So we'll have to shorten up the order a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. And one thing I want to note that wasn't pointed out to me, or I don't think it was pointed out to any of us the last time we broadcasted on whatever day it was. I can't remember, but the last time we broadcasted, we didn't mention this, but Aiden McCrow, the guy who's sitting third on the board right now in the qualifying, which doesn't matter, just to set pit boxes, but Aiden McCrow, last year's Daytona winner, the opening race winner, has to race his way into the main event that is going to be happening here in about an hour and a half. So it's going to be really interesting. Like I said, we have a lot of really good drivers that are in this field, and they're mixed in with a bunch of unknowns and a bunch of knowns. So it's going to be really interesting to see how well these guys can handle the pressure of having to be one of 2 drivers that has to get in through the field through this last chance qualifier.
Honestly, you put it perfectly. You got great drivers who could have, would have, and should have been locked in already, but numerous different consequences have occurred during the dual races that forced them to be in tonight's LCQ. The could have, it would be Arthur Xavier. He got collected in a late wreck in duel number 1 and was forced to suffer engine failure, which meant William Greger was able to swiftly pass him to take the final transfer spot. The would have, you mentioned him, Aiden McCrow, the reigning Daytona 150 champion now. That's a little change for tonight's race. Instead of 125, it's 150. But Aiden McCrow, reigning Daytona 150 champion, self-spinning in the second duel, and no caution was able to save him. And this should have. Jonathan Solos, he should have easily made it. He was comfy within the lead pack, but an RNG engine failure puts him with a retirement and is here tonight.
I would say another one of those should haves is Aiden Lacasse in the '84. You know, he was a stout force in the holiday season, always running up at the front. I don't believe he collected any victories that season. I could be mistaken. I'm pretty sure he didn't. But Lacasse was really, like I said, a staunch force at all of the plate tracks that we ran in holiday season too, and he qualified decently well in the like whole week, 2 weeks of qualifying we had, and then out came his dual race. He got caught up in an accident with William Viola and Juco, and he flipped, got engine and roof damage, and was basically out of the picture after that. And now we're seeing him here tonight. Thankfully, he has a teammate with him, Carter Friesen, who also qualified, but he didn't make it. He wasn't able to make it for any of the dual races, but he's got a teammate with him now. It'd be very interesting to see if one of those two could drive their ways up to the front, as those two are also very good drivers and have been racing in NR for an extremely long time. We haven't seen Carter really around in, I'd say, probably a year and a half, 2 years in any sort of league capacity. But it'll be interesting to see how well Lacasse and Friesen can drive their way through the field. Friesen, I believe he raced in the clash that happened I think earlier in the week. I'm getting
Yes,
my
he
games
did.
mixed up, but he's got a little bit of experience, especially him having Lacasse with him. That's going to be a really big help. And I think also their other teammate is Riley Spurley in that 28, who was also racing in most of the holiday season too, and he was also pretty good at the plate tracks. So 3 cars right there that I could see trying to make their way up to the front. I don't know if they had figured out that the middle was the best line to run. Obviously, it wasn't the second duel because I was up there, but in the first duel, it worked out really well. And if you can just get some good pushers and get a lot of good help up there, I really think that you can make that middle lane work, and it can even be better than the bottom lane, as was shown in the first duel. But it's going to be really interesting to see. We got a lot of good drivers in this field going for 2 spots. I think it's going to be really aggressive. I think we're going to see a lot of accidents. I just think it's going to be pretty hectic. I couldn't really tell you who my picks are for tonight's race.
Well, you say there's a good, healthy people in the server, but I want to say almost half of them don't need to be here. They're already secured, including you, Troxel. So, was the dual races not enough info for you to know what the track will be like later tonight?
Oh no, the track. I think those duels told me much, much more than I needed to know. The outside's good. You can really build a run in this package that has been created here. You don't really lose the draft. The only thing is just that there is a lot of grip on this track, and the grip is going to be the main issue with, I think, most of these drivers trying to make daring moves and stuff, thinking that there's more grip, that they can make these sort of moves and go like 3, maybe even 4 wide in some spots. I think 3 wide should be a pretty fine standard if we really need it. I don't think we'll really see too much of the 3 wide, but if we get anywhere from 4 wide, I think we'll see a lot of accidents. But there is a lot of grip on this track. There are a lot of ways that you can make the moves that you need to make, and I believe that we'll see that tonight. I think we'll see a lot of aggression, especially with the amount of grip that's on this track.
Now, I did mention dual races because those two dual races offered up points only to the top 5 from each duel. It is treated as a stage. So, with Cole Rodriguez and Landon Lyle winning their dual races, the two of them are tied for the points lead. Now, 15 points doesn't sound like much, but it's definitely a help compared to but you gotta chase system. Every point's going to matter until I want to say maybe even the final race of the regular season. Bit of changes compared to last season. Less points given out to first place compared to season 7. It was 80 points for first place. Now it is 63. So perhaps as a response to EGT's rampage last season, he inadvertently created a tighter point system. So just wild series compared to who makes the chase and who doesn't. Lo- it, it's going to be a lot closer compared to what we saw last season.
Yeah, I will say the gaps in the points system have been closed up a lot, mostly due to what you said, the domination of Alexander Gonzalez Green, which I don't mean to glaze him because he gets glazed by Lyle all the time, but he was the best driver in the series, and he did run up front most of the races. He really didn't even need to try towards the back end of the season because he almost had the championship locked up basically by the last race of the season, which it kind of reminds me of uh, what would have happened had Kyle Larson won in a full season points format because he had the 10 wins and the bunch of top fives. He ran up front all the time. He led a bunch of laps, and with what has been happening now with the closing up of the points gaps, it's going to be positions are going to matter a lot. I would say a lot less, but it's going to matter a lot less depending on what position you're in. Obviously, you're still going to want to win, but you don't need to win to build out such a huge points gap. What you need to do is have that consistency, which I think consistency now is going to matter a little bit more than just winning outright. But I do think winning is still going to matter a lot. And with the changes to the bonus points, like the most laps led and the lead laps and all of that, I do believe that's going to change everything because lead laps and pole were both 5 points and most laps led was 10 points, and now those are 2 points, 5 points, and 1 point respectively. So, and they've also added the fastest lap point, which is just 1 point. But it's going to be interesting. The point system has changed to like curb the dominance of drivers that have raced in this series and won the championships. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. This season is going to be definitely a curveball from the rest of the seasons that we have had here in BPNR.
Well, LCQ is not a championship race, but later tonight points will be offered up. You want to maximize what you can coming out of tonight, especially given that it's Daytona, it's chaotic. You just want to get out there with a good points day and help yourself build a reputable championship story come chase time.
And
Now,
as you see
much
it,
like we see in the duels, we're going to take this first lap to reset the starting order, and 15 laps shall decide who gets into the Daytona 150.
it's definitely going to be an interesting race as here you see these cars start to get sorted out a little bit here. On your front row is going to be Arthur Xavier, the guy that just barely missed out on making the Daytona 150 earlier last night, but he's going to be starting on your pole right there, and Matt McIntyre is going to be starting on the outside pole in second place. On your second row there is Dakota Vega in the 6 car and Alexander Hunt in the 49. And then on your third row, you got two, I would say, heavy favorites to try to transfer onto this race. Last season's Daytona 125 winner, Aiden McCrow, starting there in 5th. He did not make it through the duels and did not have a qualifying time good enough to set him up to already be locked into the 150, but he's going to be starting there in 5th place on the inside, and then Aiden Lacasse is starting there on the outside in 6th place. He's going to be another driver to look at to have a really good shot of transferring into the Daytona 150 here at 10 o'clock.
To go over the rest of the grid, we had Charlie who had pit problems, Silos with an engine failure in Duel 2, Carter Friesen and Carrello, I hope I said that right. Then it is Johnson with league owner Colin Teague in the 510, according to the game. Then it is Roy with Kenny Campos, Jack Merkel, who just came off of winning the Budweiser Cup Series Championship. That's a league that also runs on Fridays. So he'll start towards the back with Sperling and Dallas Sheik. 15 laps, no need for a pit stop, but overtime is still very much possible. As they head into the restart zone, we are underway in the last chance qualifier.
Oh my gosh, Arthur! Oh, in the 6. Oh, I think he missed a shift there going into second or third gear right there, but he definitely had something go wrong there, and so did the 94 as well. He's fallen back along with the 6, probably not as bad as the 6 is. But meanwhile, at the front, the 79, he got a huge restart there got a massive jump off the start. I don't think you want to be out that far ahead, but I don't know if the 40, he's going to jump to the outside with the 97. Arthur's already going to fall back to third place. He's going to be outside of the current transfer picture there as the
And we're
server
gonna
just
have a
failed.
reset
And we're
apparently.
okay. We're resetting. All right, cool.
Drivers to your
Oh,
car.
restart for the 90. Okay, so the 94 had a gear failure. All right, so we restarted for him. All right,
Right.
well, that is going to give us a little bit extra time here. And Victor, I just wanted to ask you this so I can put this out there. Who do you think are going to be our two transferees going into the Daytona 150? And what's a big name that you think is going to be going home and not going to be racing in the season opener here for BPNR Season 8?
Oh boy. Well, I feel like Salos can definitely make his way back up. We've seen it in the second duel, being able to keep keep pace with the lead pack. As for the second driver, I might have to go with a bit of a redemption arc. Arthur Xavier, he missed out because of engine trouble. Assuming he doesn't get involved in a wreck this time around, he should be the second driver to make it. A big name that will miss it. Well, Jack Burkle, he's going to be starting towards the back. I just don't think there's enough time for him to get into the top two to qualify himself into the Daytona 150.
Yeah, I feel that way too about Marco. I think he's a great driver. I think he has a lot of skill, but unfortunately in a package like this, qualifying way back there and only having 15 laps, plus maybe a couple more for the overtime if we have it, I don't think he'll be able to rile his way up into the top two, especially with a lot of good drivers starting at the front, like Solos, Xavier, Lacasse, Carter, a bunch of other guys, McCrow. But I think my two guys I think I'll have transferring in. The first guy I'll have transferring into the main event is Arthur Xavier. He bad luck bites this man more times than anybody in NR that I've ever seen in my life. And I think finally, for once in his life, Lady Luck is going to deal him a good hand and he's going to be able to get up to the front. We are Arthur Xavier. We Everybody should be cheering for this man. He deserves this. I believe in him so vehemently. And the other guy I think that I'll have making it into the 150 here tonight is going to be that 84 car of Aiden Lacasse. Like I said earlier in the show, I believe that Lacasse has great talent. He's shown that he can be fast on the plate tracks. He's ran up front there a lot. I think he's won Riki one time before a couple of seasons ago. But I just think Lacasse has the talent and he has the teammates to help him out. I do believe that Lacasse will be our second driver in, and our driver out that is going to be a big name is going to be Jonathan Solos. I just don't see Luck dealing him a good hand, and I basically I don't really think anybody really likes to work with Solos as much as I love the man himself, but I just don't think anybody's going to be willing to work with him. They might be willing to work with him to get to the front, but I just see him having some sort of issue or getting involved in an accident or just Luck dealing him a bad hand. And he will be my driver to miss the Daytona 150 along with Carter Friesen. I just think Friesen, I love the man. I don't want to say he's washed or anything like that because I don't believe that's true, but he's starting towards the middle of the field. He hasn't really had too much experience racing in the pack outside of the Clash and hasn't really raced on a plate track of this caliber in a decently long time. So I think he'll be the other driver that'll miss, along with Merkel as well, obviously, for all the reasons I pointed out earlier. But hey, we're going to finally get going here. Hopefully nobody's going to have any gear failures, and we'll be able to get this bad boy on the road.
Right, BPNR is one of those leagues where a reset can be forgiven for a broken gear within the first 2 or 3 laps, but hopefully no more issues arise. Underway this time around.
Yeah, and you see Arthur, he got a really good jump there again. Like I was saying before we had to reset, I don't know if that's really a good idea to get that huge of a jump on a restart, but McIntyre and Vega are going to line up behind him as, man, they are jumbling up back there, trying to get themselves sorted out here to make a early push towards the front. But right now, our two drivers that are in our transfer spots are the two drivers that started on the front row, Matt McIntyre and the 79 of Arthur Xavier. But they're building a little something on the high side there with the 6-car Vega, the 97 Treywick, who had pit road problems, couldn't make it on fuel in the first duel. But,
Oh,
oh,
they
look at
break
that.
towards the
Oh, yeah,
back,
there they
and
go. That's a
oh,
huge wreck. Gustavo Carrillo and Rich Roy are flipping, and Thomas Johnson is spinning out. I do believe that's going to be a caution. Yes, they are racing back to the line here. A 3 wide for second place. Arthur's going to take it. Vega's going to get second. And man, immediately off rip, we have had 2 cars flip in the 22 of Gustavo Carrillo and the 129 of Rich Roy. That is not what you want to see happen at the beginning of your LCQ when you need to get up front early.
man, oh man, let's just take a quick look at it, see what happened. It looked like a jumble from the inside lane. Maybe a midcourt bump draft from the 23 of Salos into the 40 of McCrow. That just stacked up the entire inside lane.
Yeah, Solos got really lucky there that he didn't get bumper grabbed off the 51, but the 51 definitely went for a slide there. A great save from Colin Teagar, the league owner of BPNR. But after he was saving it, I guess Gustavo got into him a little bit there, got clipped by the 94 when he was checking up, trying to come up the track so he didn't wreck the 51. He shot straight up the track and got clipped by the 94 and got sent straight into Rich Roy. And 22 didn't actually flip over. He stayed on his side. That's surprising. But the 129 of Rich Roy definitely went for a little bit of a tumble there. Just one of those warp wrecks where if you get combined with another car that you're just going to end up flipping over. And that gave him massive roof damage. I imagine that's going to give him some engine damage too. But yeah, that might be it for Rich Roy and the 129. They're a quick and early end for the 129, that Roy family construction Chevrolet. The 94 of Thomas Johnson got spun out in it as well, but I don't think he got as much damage. It looks like just a little bit of rear end damage. Don't believe Merkel got involved in that. I think, yeah, he slowed down greatly and was able to miss the wreck. But yeah, no, that is your accident. And you see some cars here coming down pit road. The 15 of Kenny Campos, the 129, the 22 and the 94, 3 of those guys were involved in that accident. I think Kenny's just coming down here to maybe take some tires and get some fuel just to make sure that he's good and he's off and away. But yeah, huge damage on the 129 of Rich Roy. That looks like that might be the end of his LCQ.
Keep talking. I'm currently fixing the lap counter again.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, there's not really much to talk about right now outside of that first accident that we've had there. Carrillo's off pit road. It looks like he got his car repaired pretty well. It doesn't really look like it has too much damage on it. It doesn't really look like it has any damage on it, actually. But he's off pit road. He might be good to continue and be at a comfortable pace. Thomas Johnson's off pit road now as well. In the 94, he looks like he got most of his damage repaired as well. Here comes Rich Roy off pit road, and Landon Laudenbach. I don't know if he's actually in the race or not. I think he's kind of just coasting around at the back. But
Well, he
Rich is off
shouldn't
pit
be.
road. He's got a bunch of roof damage, and his left side is caved in pretty low, so it's not really looking good for that number 129. As we get cycled out here, let's go through about our top 10 here. Our 2 drivers that are currently in the race are the 79 of Arthur Xavier and the 6 of Dakota Vega. I'd say, I didn't say this before the broadcast, but Vega's a good driver, and I believe he's a dark horse to try to get into this Daytona 150. And then you got our outside pole sitter, Matt McIntyre, sitting in 3rd. The number 49, Alexander Hunt, in 4th. And then 5th, Riley Treywick, looking to make up for that massive mistake that they made in their dual race. And then you got Aiden Lacasse in 6th place. McCrow, the last season's Daytona 125 champion, running in 7th right now, splitting the 2. I don't even know what the team name's called. I forget what their team name's called, but splitting those 2 team cars of Lacasse and Friesen, who is sitting in 8th place, and then Solo's in 9th. Oh
And
God, they
near
nearly wrecked
wreck,
right there. They
Dallas
near
Shake
wrecked.
blinked out and nearly got pitted by Colin Teague.
Yeah, that was close right there. And speaking of Dallas Shake, he is I believe our 10th place car. No, it's Colin Teague.
Years.
Teague is 10th. All right. So the order got a little bit jumbled up there from that near miss, but anyways, that's your top 10 right there. A couple more big names outside of the top 10 is
And
Riley
Friesen
Spurrier in
has
12.
stopped at the exit of the pit lane.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. he must. Let's see if did he say anything in chat. No, he didn't say anything in chat. All right, he must have had to stop for something, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get his position back or anything. He's rolling again, thankfully, so he'll be getting up right back up with that field. But Merkel has gotten his way up to 13th place after missing that initial wreck. He might be able to claw his way through the field there, might be able to get his way up to the front here. Hopefully he will, but we'll have to see as the lights are off on the pace car, and we will be going green this time by there coming up to the choose cone, which you said last night was thanks to Jonathan Solos, and I'm just going to thank him because I don't really know if he I'm pretty sure he put it on the track, but I just didn't really know who to thank there. As here comes Carter. He's going to be able to take his spot back as now, you may see a couple of cars clipping the cone there as Carter Friesen just absolutely demolished it. I don't know if they're going to penalize him or not, but you don't have to miss the arrow and the box that's sitting there on the back straightaway. You only have to miss the cone as Laudenbach has just destroyed it, being the last car in line. I really don't think he's in this race for anything, but anyways,
doing a bit of tomfoolery.
Yeah, doing a bit of tomfoolery as, Friesen hit the cone. He's going to drop to the back all the way on the inside line. End of the longest line for him. But as we come to our restart here with coming to 15 laps to go, or not 15, 10 laps to go, Arthur and Dakota Vega are going to be leading us to the green flag.
And just like the initial start, both of them get a good jump, but that's just something you do not need at Daytona.
Yeah, those big jumps allow the other cars to... Oh, Riley's making it 3 wide there on the inside of Matt McIntyre. That's an extremely aggressive move there from the driver of the 97, hoping to join their teammate in the 71 of Ryan Scarrett in the Daytona 150. Oh my gosh, we're getting really loose, nearly 4 wide. We are bumping each other. We are getting way over aggressive this early in the races. We're nearly still wrecking Vegas in the wall, and he spin
goes
out
around.
the field.
Collecting Matt McIntyre. And more cars spinning that be spurling on the grass is
He's going to clip
Carrillo.
And our winner back to the line is going to be the 49 Alexander Hunt. And McCrow is going to put himself in second place right there. That's going to be really good for a lane choice. Arthur falls back to third. Solos into fourth place. And even Dallas Shake moving his way up here into the top 5. That's a really good run for that 82 team as well.
Take a look at the replay to cause this accident. We haven't had a green flag lap yet, despite it being a 15-lap race. Gonna try the onboard with McIntyre. I saw him nearly turn to 97. Maybe a bit of a gesture to show that he wasn't appreciative.
Yeah, which is, I mean, like, I don't really know, but yeah, it really looks like right there that the 48 just tried coming down a little bit too early, trying to get in line with the 97 and just clips the 97 a little bit, but just not enough to actually turn them or anything, but to send them up into the 6, who gets into the wall, smacks it, and then comes down the track into the 48 and ends up spinning him and the 48 out. Carrillo also got involved in that. He kind of sent the 6 up into the air for a second there, but doesn't really look like any of these guys got too major of damage. I do believe all of them will be able to continue, but yeah, just a really over aggressive moves here with still, I would say, so many laps left in the last chance qualifier. But yeah, all of those guys look to be okay. There you see Laudenbach spinning out in the back there, but yeah, most of those guys look to be okay. I think the 22 is going to come down pit road for some damage repair, along with the 6. The 48 is going to stay out after getting just spun out in that. But yeah, the 6 and the 22 are coming down pit road there. But we'll take a quick look through the rest of the field here. Treywick has fallen back to 6th place. Colin Teague's up to 7th place. Kenny Campos, haven't really said his name outside of him pitting earlier. He's up to 8th place, getting that little bit of extra fuels, helping to keep the car on the track, I guess. And then you got Lacasse and Friesen there, sitting 9th and 10th with Merkel in 11th. So that's a really good group of 3 cars right there that could possibly drive their way up to the front if they were to stay connected, along with Spurley. Spurley is also a great driver at these plate tracks. So having those 4 cars together, hopefully they realize what they have right there, and they'll try to get into line together and try to move their way up towards the front here. As I don't know if we are going green or not this time. I do believe
Lights are still on,
the
so I
lights are
don't think
still
so.
on. Yeah. I really think we should go green here because
We're already
we're
halfway done with the
yeah,
race.
we're kind of running out the laps for these guys, and that's just going to cause more accidents to occur. But yeah, the lights are staying on. Nope, they turned them off. All right, we will be going green this time. That was a little bit of a late turn off there, but it gets the point through. Everyone's going to be able to be caught up as Lineback is still trying to drift on the inside there coming out of turn number 2. But yeah, here we come to the choose right here.
Top 3 take the inside, Silos the first to the outside. That puts them in great position.
Yeah, and like I said, all 4 of those cars in the back there, Lacasse, Friesen, Merkel, and Spurley, all chose the outside there, and they are going to move up a ton of positions as a lot of cars there chose the bottom. Lacasse is going to start third on the outside behind Tegan Solos, but I would say that outside line is way better prepared than the inside is right now, as at least with how good the drivers are sitting on the outside right now. But hey, we're going to be coming to green here with 6 laps to go. Actually, no, 7 laps to go. The lap counter is screwing me up so bad. But, and there
I
goes
don't
the,
blame you.
and everyone just blinked out for me, so that's awesome.
It's also on me.
Oh, that's good. Did the server just go down? Oh, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? As we were coming to the restart there, I'll grab a, actually no, grabbing an export doesn't really do anything. Yeah, that's odd. I guess the server just went down.
Isn't this an AGT server if I'm
Yeah, this
correct?
is an AGG server, and I've just gotten word from Jelani in a different server that his server has gone down. So
Oh, well,
that is wonderful. That is definitely going to jumble up everybody. That's great. That's more sitting for us to do and waiting around for a 15-lap race that should have taken only about 10 minutes. Oh boy. But hey, on Luck's side, or for Luck's sake, Rich Roy's going to be back in this race after he flipped. So that's really lucky for him. That's about the only driver this really benefits is this server crash is put us on a little bit of a delay here. As now the server is back up, thankfully, but I imagine it's going to take a couple of minutes for them to get sorted out.
yeah. And I'm not sure if they have the running order before the server went down, but who knows?
I didn't bother to save it because I was like, I don't think
Neither did I.
I don't think it really matters. I mean, it should be like they might make it 10 laps, just a 10-lap race or something like that. But I really don't know. It's gonna be interesting. That is really odd. I don't think ever one of Alex's servers has ever crashed before, so maybe Lyle will finally stop glazing him.
The last time I remember his server crashing was at Charlotte last season, and that took like 4 attempts to get going properly. 4 attempts, and we've only done like 10 laps in, I want to say, like an hour.
Yeah, but that's a really unfortunate time to crash, considering that I think we'll get this race done before everything's said and done here, but or before the practice for the BPNR 150 is supposed to go up. But these guys will have a little more, will be a little fresher on the track than the rest of us, I guess. As I'm going to undeafen Lyle here to see if he's saying anything about how many laps we're going to have here.
Let's fix this again.
Oh, we just set it back to practice.
That's not cool. Guess I have to rejoin the game again because I've noticed I'm gonna get a little technical. There's 2 programs needed to use the ticker, at least the one I'm using. If the session gets pushed back, like you could reset practice and while still in practice and it wouldn't do anything, but if you go from like qualifying back to practice, that's when the whole thing breaks and I'll have to reset those programs and then reopen NR because I can't just reopen them. NR has to connect with the 2 programs. That's honestly the best way I could put it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think backing out this is gonna help the ticker be accurate at all.
And I guess I also mentioned this. During the first caution, we had a flip. Every BPNR race so far has had at least one flip. So does that set up anything for tonight's Daytona 150? I hope not.
Yeah, hopefully not. And also a quick note here to put out. Oh, I'm a pole sitter. Isn't that wonderful? But another thing to note here. Driver to your car. For everything that's going on right now, Dakota Vega after that wreck apparently rage quit. So he's not going to be getting back into the session, and he's just going to be our first DNF and the LCQ, which is a pretty odd DNF if I would have to say, considering the server crashed and after he spun out. So, but yeah, no more Dakota Vega. One of the dark horses that were supposed to be running this event are now officially out. So it's going to be odd. I don't know really how they're going to line this up. I'm going to keep Lyle undeafened so I can really understand what's going on here.
Drivers, start your engine!
I imagine what we are going to do is we are going to either... Okay, so we're going to the end of lap number 9, as Lyle just said. They are going to set the lineup, I assume, to what it was right before we made the choose. So that's what's happening. I can't really explain it really much better than that.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, but when you have to admin a league, you have to be prepared for this kind of situation.
For prepared for stuff like that to happen. But yeah, we will go to the end of lap 9. The ticker might say 1 of 100, but we are going to the end of lap 9. So we will have 8 laps, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm doing my math there correct. But
Yes.
we should have 8 laps. We're using the first lap to set up the field, to get them ready to go, as it was right before we were going to come to the green flag. I think before the choose.
Yep, 8 scheduled laps remain. There is still the possibility of overtime, as if we need to delay our proceedings any further.
Yeah, if we really needed to delay the race any longer, we could do overtime, but I don't know. He didn't mention anything about an overtime, but
I'm
I've now
assuming there
redefined
is.
him. Yeah, I assume that there would be an overtime, unless he doesn't want the races running so close together. But honestly, it makes us not have to sit around longer before the race starts. But that's exactly what we're doing right now, is sitting around. So I guess we're kind of changing those two things out.
So I don't see them lining up right now. I think they're just gonna do double file right now and no choose cone.
They might. Yeah, Saul is inching up to the high side.
Yeah, but at the choose before the session crashed, he was first on the top side, but now he's second on the top, having to push Macro up to
Yeah.
the lead potentially.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be interesting. I pray to God that we can get some green flag laps in this race, because I don't know if anybody who's watching right now has ever commentated a race before, but commentating under caution laps when nothing is going on is horrible. When it's just like 3 cars spinning out and like one of them flipping and you get through it and then they have to pace around 2 more times. It's agonizing, especially when you really have nothing to talk about. But hopefully they are gonna double file up here. Your front row is gonna be Alexander Hunt, and Aiden McCrow are the last season's Daytona 150 winner, or 125 it was last season. I'm gonna keep mentioning that because that's an insane storyline that like nobody has talked about. And then you've got Arthur Xavier and Jonathan Solos, Colin Teague, Riley Treywick, Aiden Lacasse, Kenny Campos, and Riley Spurley, and the 67 of Carter Friesen rounding out your top 10. As we will be hopefully going green here.
I don't think you're on live. Because the green flag's already come
Oh, the
out.
green flag's out.
And
Jesus
the top
Christ.
three have
Okay.
already fouled down to the inside.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't. Okay, that's horrible. Well, they ditched Campos, so that's unfortunate. But hopefully, they're gonna sort it out a little bit easier.
So currently, their top two are Hunt and McCrow. Third on down will have to miss the race if it stays as is.
And
Jonathan Salo's trying to do something, but he has no help.
the caution's out. The caution is out. Oh, that's what happened. The 94 and the 129 just wrecked. The 94 just cut straight down on the 129 and wrecked. And he grip flipped. That's incredible.
Did this server go down again?
The server may have just crashed again.
Brother.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank God that blunder isn't going to be remembered. Oh, Jesus. Oh my gosh.
You know, man.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And there it goes.
Yep. Well, the good news for Thomas Johnson there in the 94 is that he's not going to have any damage anymore. But this is starting to run extremely close to race time, or at least practice going up. Oh my god.
You don't need practice.
We don't need, I mean, we really don't need the practice, but oh no, you know what he'll do? He'll extend practice. He'll add 2 more hours on the practice just to spite us.
God. So while we have to go through our server crashing procedures a second time tonight, how about we talk about tomorrow? IFAR is returning for their 16th season at Daytona. And Troxel's muted. But BPNR and IFAR share some similarities. Both of them use NCS21 to much of my dismay. And the Daytona races would be on CTS physics, but IFAR would be using a modified version of BBMC Night to accommodate for the CTS racing. BPNR's Daytona model is built off a Rising Night, more specifically the DSRA version, which is a compressed version of the original track, and I guess I didn't compress it well enough because we've already had 2 server crashes. And not to mention, there's another race to do in like half an hour. So hopefully it is going to fix itself. AKA go to race soon. So while we sit around and do nothing again, take a quick look at the starting grid for tonight's race. Alexander Gonzalez Green and Stephen Gibson, your front row, setting the 2 fastest times throughout the 1 week of qualifying these drivers got to do. Row 2 has Cole Rodriguez and Landon Lyle, with Daniel Rodriguez and Miles Fox in row 3. Jelani Howell and Dunlap Pratt in row 4. Daniel Rivera and our own Thomas Troxel in row 5. Anthony McClure and Dylan Negron with row 6 starting spots, with Arthur Barnett and Ryan Scarrett just behind them. Then it is Cam Smith and Noel Nichols in row 8, Robbie Gilvin and Harry Crawford row 9, Jolene Sims and Joshua Clements in row 10. Then it is William Viola with Roman Gonzalez, Kirsten Bell with London Beck, Aziz with Wells, excuse me, Brian, row 14, Carl Childress and Joe Schbuda with Brandon Carter and Rosa de la Cruz in row 15. Jikushu Nome and Kim McGarry make up row 16. William Gregory and Bowen Fisher barely make it into the feature through Tuesday's dual races. They'll line up in row 17. There's still 2 spots up for grabs, and that will be decided in hopefully due time. They'll occupy row 18 for tonight's BPNR Daytona 150. So I think they got going again. Yep.
All right, I am back. I apologize for that. I got a phone call because the race has gone like 15 minutes over what it should have gone. So,
Well, they just rolled off, and I presume we gotta do this all over again. Let me get the ticker up.
all right. So apparently now it's going to be the end of lap 8. So that's nice.
At this point, you might as well just go green right now. Who cares
Yeah,
about the order?
Yeah, we are running a little bit close to race time, but you know, I mean, like, what does it really matter? I mean, it's to get 2 people into the field, so help bounce up the numbers a little bit.
Yeah. When you host big events like this, it's just really tedious to set up. In the intermission between duels 1 and 2, AGT brought up the idea that we have all this build up, but the main race is only 50 laps originally, now it's been upgraded to 60. So you ponder, is all this setup really worth it for a crapshoot?
Short answer, no. I mean, like, I love racing here. I love BPNR, but like every race that I do is either a crapshoot or it's like there's like something wrong. Uh, the I was really expecting the same thing from this, but like to be honest, we really didn't need the 2 weeks of qualifying. I really don't understand that. What would have been cool is if we had just like done like maybe I don't know like 3 days of qualifying or something like that. But unfortunately, we did like 2 weeks and we had like 60 people qualify, and we can't really just like qualify for like have a bunch of people that want to show up and have them qualify for the duels and stuff like that, because that's a little more tedious. But you know, having all this build up over the past couple of weeks, and then hopefully this is the disaster, and the disaster isn't actually the race. Hopefully people can get their heads out of their asses and decide that they actually want to race a little bit clean for the first couple of laps. But yeah, if I was Lyle, I would have extended the race distance to like 75 laps or something like that. That probably would have been a good race distance. But hey, at least he upped the distance to 60, so we can have a little bit more interesting strategy and have a lot more racing that's going on instead of just like a 50 lap sprint like it's a gnarl race or something like that. But you know, we're going to the green flag here. Hopefully we will not wreck. So Hunt's going to lead us to the green flag with Macro and Solos in tow. Hunt is going to get a huge jump out here, but Solos is going to be able to stick up right behind him. I wonder if he's going to try to jump to the outside once anybody on that outside lane starts to get a run.
Got 7 laps remain, 2 spots up for grabs, and they're already single file.
Well, I don't blame him. If I was them, I would just rather have this race be over with and then get really hectic towards the end, but they might get hectic right now. I don't know. They're looks like they're trying to build something there. Nope, they just shot all the way back down to the bottom. Oh, nope, here comes the cast with help from Merkel and Carter Friesen on the outside. Looks like these guys are going to try to build something that helps them get towards the front, as Friesen's getting a little wobbly there, but no harm, no foul. Here's Treywick looking like they're going to jump out. They're going to cut back in. These sharp cuts from like the controller and keyboard drivers always scare me, especially when you're plate racing. That's why I hate pushing a control. As a former controller driver, I hated pushing people because I thought I would bumper grab them. So having that jittery movement always be an issue at plate tracks is something that is really not enjoyable when you're on wheel and have the smooth inputs. But, you know, a lot of people are starting to go to the outside. Here comes Arthur Xavier. He's going to move up in front of the 84, and the 84 is going to jump to the high side. Now they're going to have to deal with Treywick on the outside now, which I really don't know which one is worse. Is Treywick's blocking, and
God
around goes the
fucking damn
84.
it.
And
Oh
they
my
get
god.
flung. Holy mother of God. What a terroristic block from Riley Treywick, and that is going to bring the caution out as most of the field has just been involved in that massive wreck, including Carter Friesen and Jack Merkel, two of the best drivers that are in this LCQ. Oh my goodness, what a hellacious crash. Oh my gosh.
We
And
finally
Riley
get
realizes why people hate racing with them, because they do that.
we
Oh my
finally
gosh.
get a green flag lap in the LCQ.
And it
And this is how
exact
they return the
yeah, and
favor.
then they return the favor with the worst crash in LCQ history. Oh my goodness gracious.
See, Merkel and the Cass.
No, I mean, I don't actually, now looking at it
Oof.
again, the block was extremely aggressive, but Lacasse just turned straight down. Like, Lacasse just turned straight down on Merkel's nose and spins himself out. The block definitely was not, well, I would not say that was a good block, but it definitely, I wouldn't say it was fully on Treywick. But that we got lap 8, guys, the end of lap 8, and it is lap 3. There is still a bunch of time left. There was a bunch of time left to go in this LCQ, and now what you've just done is you've taken all the competitive cars that were going to make the Highline work, and have just you just wrecked everybody. That is just something that did not need to happen. That was stupid.
Going
Oh
to
my
be a
gosh.
nasty ride for Car Friesen, fourth and line on the outside.
Yeah, you see Friesen here really didn't have anywhere to go. Unfortunately, he just a victim of that block. He tried to stick to the outside there, but Merkel came up and just clipped him with his roof and just ended up flinging him over the fence. If there wasn't world borders, he probably would have went outside the track and hit the Sunoco sign. But you know, it's just unnecessary. I mean, this entire LCQ has just been a complete wreck fest. I don't see the point in pulling a block like that.
It's a goofy ass race for the sake of a goofy ass race.
Yeah. I get the frustration with Riley, but in reality, they probably should have just stuck to the middle there. Have the cars go to the outside. The middle's the better line, anyways. You might have some cars come with you here. I know they're upset, and like that just caused a massive crash and completely took them out of contention to be in this 150. I just don't get it.
You mentioned aggression earlier, and I just been thinking, you got 15 laps, there's only 2 spots up for grabs. So I just don't think there is a restrictor to how aggressive you can be. You just have to be aggressive to get into the top 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that, but like you're trying to be aggressive, trying to get into the top 2, and you end up wrecking yourself for 7th place. Like that doesn't really make too much. That doesn't. You if you want to wreck yourself, you better wreck yourself when you're at the front, not when you're in the middle of the pack. At least let the guys up front try to race it out, and then have them wreck, trying to be over aggressive for the top 2 spots. Then maybe you can slip yourself into a better spot. You don't need to be wrecking yourself when you're in the middle of the pack, especially that early in the LCQ. I mean, quote unquote, that early. I mean, we've been sitting here for about an hour waiting for this race to be over with, but you know, I did not see the point in needing to be aggressive there. That was just you should wait a little bit longer at least. But anyways, we're coming to the green flag here. It's the end of lap 8, which means we're gonna have 3 laps to go. Your front row is Alexander Hunt and Arthur Xavier, along with Jonathan Solos and Rich Roy, who, thanks to that first server crash, has now found his way up into 4th place as the green flag flies here with just 3 laps to go.
And Rich Roy is already going to move up to the very outside. It's not going to work if he has no help. The 28 abandons him in favor of the 79 Arthur Xavier, who abandons him to take up 3rd overall.
Yeah, and Roy is going to cascade towards the back of the pack there. And that is an unfortunate break there. Oh my god, we're getting a little squirrely here in the back. I pray to God we don't wreck for 13th place while we're trying to race for the top 2 spots. That would feel a little stupid. But anyway, the 2 people that caused that last accident are hooked up on the outside, the 84 and the 97, hopefully they can put their issues aside there from causing that massive crash and hopefully get something built up on the outside here as they're going to cut back low here with 2 to go.
It's just not enough people are committed to going up there. They're all gonna run to the bottom here. And if you are going to make a charge for the win, you have to do it now. As Trawick gets bumper grabbed in the middle of the corner, but she is able to save it.
Oh, yeah, thankfully that does not cause another caution to come out. As here we go, we got some movement here. Arthur's going to look to the outside, nearly bumper grabs the 40 McGrow, and Alexander Hunt's going to block him. That's going to leave the door open for Solos. Oh my
Side by
God,
side for second.
nearly wrecking in the back. Roy nearly hit the wall. Oh my gosh. But right now, Arthur Xavier and the 40 Aiden McCrow are working the outside, trying to get something going here as we're coming to the white flag.
It's
One
only
lap to
2 of
go.
them.
That's good. That currently means your 1-2 is Alexander Hunt and Jonathan Solos. Your first car out is that 94 of Thomas Johnson with Campos, Lacasse, and Spurley on the inside as that outside line gets fractured up. Xavier is going to fall back a little bit more. Here they come down the backstretch. Is anybody going to be able to build up a run to try to get those 2 top spots? Here comes Johnson to the outside. He's going to block back low.
If he's gonna make a run, he's gotta use Kenny, or Aiden Lacasse is going to try something on the outside from 5th place.
Here they come. Coming down off of turn 4. Johnson's going to look to the outside. He's got no help. And they're going to stay right where they are. Alexander Hunt's going to win the LCQ. And Jonathan Solos is going to come home in P2. He is going to be our last transfer spot into the Daytona 150. Oh my God. Thank God that's over. You know, it's 9:30 right now.
Finally.
We finally got it finished right when practice is supposed to start. But Solos and Hunt worked masterfully there to keep that 1-2. And they are going to be the 2 drivers that are entering into the Daytona 150. Obviously, if anybody else, like people that qualified into the duels but couldn't make the main event, can't get into the race, then we'll take drivers from the LCQ. So our driver, I would say that's currently on the hot seat right now, is the 94 Thompson with Lacasse in 4th and McCrow in 5th. McCrow, that is huge. The last season's Daytona 125 winner is going to end up missing the main event of the race that he won last season. That is a tough break for that number 40, as Hunt and Solos are going to end up making it into the race no matter what. As that after all of the stuff that we had to go through, that was extremely disappointing. I am not going to lie.
Can we not do this again?
Yeah, I really hope that next season we do not decide that we are going to do an LCQ. Maybe no LCQ. We do not need an LCQ. We'll just go off qualifying times or something like that. We should never do this again, ever again. But congrats to Hunt and Solos. They're going to be your 2 drivers that are in the main event, and I honestly can't be mad. I mean, I don't think any. Actually, did you pick Solos? I can't remember at this point. So much stuff has happened.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think you did pick Solos, and I said Solos was going to be out, so that's kind of my bad. And he's probably going to curse me in the race, and I'll flip her again or something. But
I also did predict that Merkel was going to miss out.
yeah,
That
no,
certainly happened.
We both did say that Merkel is going to miss the race, and unfortunately, I do think he had the speed to be up at the front there and possibly get in, but you know, that huge wreck that took him and Friesen out and basically wrecked the entire back half of the field and killed anybody trying anything for that race win there. Definitely changed a lot.
As well, we got a returning face. Remember him from last night? It is Jonathan Solos.
User was moved to your channel.
Well then. I dissed you on Tuesday, but this time I don't have to, because you qualified yourself into Daytona 150.
Oh my goodness. Dude, I don't even know what to say. I'm
Isn't
so happy right now, dude. I was so nervous coming into this, dude. I felt like I should have made it. And I'm here. I'm ecstatic, bro. I don't even know what to say. I'm shaking right now. I'm acting.
Well, it must feel good to make the LCQ. I actually had you missing because I hate you. I
Yeah,
thought that bad luck would hit you again, but
yeah.
thankfully it literally hit everybody else in the field but you and Alexander Hunt. And you two are in the show. I mean, after that absolute disaster class of an LCQ that was, how does it feel to be able to race in Daytona 150? You will be starting shotgun on the field, but I don't think you can really be mad. At least you're in the
Nah,
race.
yeah, I'm in it. I'm happy. Shout out to longtime, longtime Rigatoni teammate Alex Hunt. He's my goat. I DM'd him saying I'm working with you as soon as I get to you. I got to him. It was a done deal from there. Throwbacks to season 3 OCC Daytona, if you know, you know. Um, yeah, we work really well together when I'm pushing and he's in front. So I knew if I could get behind him, and everyone around me kept having really bad restarts, and then I just managed to climb my way up from that. So it worked out.
And speaking of climbing up, because you are the second driver to make it in through LCQ, you are starting button last, 36th out of 36 cars. You got 60 laps ahead of you. How do you tackle the field?
I think just taking time. I feel like there's gonna be moments just like in the LCQ where people just have really bad restarts, and I'm able to capitalize on that really quick. I'm assuming a couple of those. It is a lot longer, 60 laps, so we might have green flag stops. There's a ton of more factors that go into it, with it being 4 times the length. So I'm hoping that'll play a factor in being able to climb up. Avoiding wrecks will be the big one. I think I might sit out back to begin and try to just avoid wrecks and climb up slowly.
Well, hopefully no more bad luck comes your way and the good luck continues.
Here's
Thank
to
you for
hoping.
joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys.
Channel switched. Channel switched.
I may have moved up
Yeah,
myself.
I was like,
I tried moving solos.
I was like, I'm the only person in the booth now. That's great.
That's the same anyone else wants an interview, so take a look into the rest of the weekend in the Internationally online space. Tomorrow is IFR returning for their 16th season at the Daytona International Speedway. The most expensive nights in America will begin at 9 p.m. Eastern. Zach is tentative of whether or not it'll be streamed tomorrow night, but we shall wait and see. Then Sunday, 2 leagues Coral returns from their break to go to Dover. That will begin at 7:55. And DSRA has their championship finale from Homestead Miami Speedway. That will begin at 9:30. Now BPNR is a little late, but the main event is coming up, the Daytona 150 truck. So you should have some good luck on your side and hopefully get a top 10 out of this. I will not be there, as mentioned on Tuesday. That will be covered on Dan Wilkins' broadcasting network. So I wish him good luck for his broadcasting. And much like before, I didn't plan this stream, but the next time I'll broadcast will be in March for the BPNR Expedition event, the 3-year anniversary race at the LA Coliseum. But the next points race will be the day after at Indianapolis Motor Speedway back-to-back crown jewel events. So I give thanks to Thomas Troxel for joining me, and congrats to Alexander Hunt and Jonathan Salos for making the grid. I wish the 3 of you good luck in tonight's race. But until then, we shall see you next time.